Raise your children with that graciousness so that they do not look down upon this. Never make them feel that you taking care of them has been a burden for you. Never make them feel that cooking is a burden for you. Never make them feel that cleaning the house is a burden for you. Yes, you may say I'm tired and need help. But we never minimize the importance of these services. So we may teach values, but the best way to kill a value is to teach it. We take a book, a manual, and we teach. Tuck, tuck, tuck. This is to be done. This is to be done. No. Children learn by seeing us, by observing us. So if we give importance to raising our children with love and affection and discipline, if we give importance to cooking with the right consciousness, to offering with the right consciousness, to serving Vaishnava guests when they come to our house. If they see that we are very hospitable, we are very grateful when people come to our house. Not that we are serving and we are talking behind the back as soon as they go out of the main door. If they see that, whatever they see, they will learn. So, whatever you want to instill in your daughters, whether it is being a good wife, whether it is being a good mother, whether it is being a good homemaker, whatever you want to teach your child, you have to live that. That doesn't mean you have to be perfect. They may see you sometimes having difference of opinion with your partner, but they see that you still go about doing your duties in spite of those difference of opinion. That you patch up and you start talking to each other normally as if nothing has happened. That's where they get all the lessons from. They see that you are able to regulate your emotions. It's not that you don't get emotional. That's not possible. But you are able to regulate and go on doing your duty. You may lose your composure, but you are able to regain it and go on doing your duty. These are all the things that we teach our children. To be efficient in what they do, whether it is cooking, keeping the house clean, taking care of Vaishnavas, worshipping the deities, chanting Hare Krishna. Spirituality is a personal choice. That's a personal choice. How much they want to do, when they want to do, what they want to do. Again, there we don't impose, so otherwise they will develop negativity towards it, right? And again, that is one is the physical skills that we develop. Second is our emotional skills. How we are able to deal with situations without getting overwhelmed. Even though things may not go according to our plan, still we tolerate it. We adjust in situations. We may have thought something very great when we got married that this will happen, that will happen. But it doesn't. And what we thought won't happen happens. Still we adjust. We don't break relationships because they are not perfect. Or we don't look for perfection where there is affection, we don't look for perfection. So these are the things that have to be shown by our own life. Also they can be told by Joseph. Also they can be taught by sharing the stories of wonderful Vaishnavis the way you are doing, pastimes of Rukmini Devi, pastimes about Draupadi, Kunti Maharani, Devahuti, great Vaishnavis from our scriptures. By sharing those stories also, they can learn. We don't even need to tell the morals. Right from childhood, if we are telling our daughters about qualities like purity, chastity, humility, respect, cooperation, like Devotee, it is mentioned that she served her husband with intimacy and respect. So when we teach these qualities through the medium of stories, then they don't appear to be so aggressive. We tell the story and they learn the lessons from it. Whoever asked that question, I don't know, but I hope they are satisfied. If anybody has any questions or doubts about what I have spoken till now, they may ask. Otherwise, we can move on to the next question.
Yes, Mataji. In fact, that was a very valuable input, what you have spoken. It's seemingly simple, but it means a lot that when you're cooking, if you're not in a good frame of mind, take some time off, take a deep breath, again, get back into proper shape and then cook because whatever you're cooking, it's going to affect so many people down. And also, another beautiful thing that I've learned from what you've spoken is In the name of being a good example, we don't have to come under the pressure of being a perfectionist. More important is we need to learn. We do have our imperfections, but how we bounce back is being the right example for our children. This is really amazing learning for me. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Another thing is that learning to repair. There might be difference of opinion. Difference of opinion is not a problem. Disagreements are not a problem. Whether we repair the situation or we allow it to deteriorate, that is important. And with regard to food, one third of what we eat becomes our body. One third of what we eat becomes our mind. One third is thrown out. Therefore, the consciousness of the person who's cooking is very, very important.
Whoa. So one third of what we eat is our mind. That's it's really amazing. Yes, Mataji. So it's 7 past 10. So we will just have a final question. Yes, Mataji. So these are two questions. They almost are the same. So I'm just clubbing them and reading them out. So my question pertains to career counseling for young girls. I'm aware that children should ultimately choose their occupational duty according to their nature. But how do I guide my young daughter? Should I inspire her to pursue a successful professional career or inspire her to serve the future family as a homemaker?
Okay.
So is it
Shall I answer this and then we can take the next one? Okay, you can ask me the second one also.
Yes, Manjeet. The second question is sometimes girls take up to Krishna consciousness at teenage during college years. So for them, it's like stepping into a whole new world. I mean, with a major paradigm shift in their philosophy of life, exposure to an attractive culture, and absorbing oneself in the activities of devotion, sometimes girls find it difficult to focus on studies and career. So, how can they practically balance their studies and devotional life?
Okay. So we'll begin with the second question first. That
Yes,
how
Mataji.
can they balance their studies and devotional life? And
Yeah.
why we should focus on studies and devotional life is what the first question asked. Right? Whether we should focus on studies, whether becoming professional or being a homemaker. Now, whether
Yes,
you
yes.
become a homemaker or you become a professional, that doesn't necessarily get decided when you are a teenager, right? It's a decision that you take later on in your life. So at that point in time, you can't go and do an extra course. So when you're studying, you study as if you are going to become a professional, right? When you're
Yeah.
studying, when you are in the process of doing your studies, you study as if you are going to become a professional, and then that's a choice you make later on in your life, whether you want to become a homemaker or you want to become a professional. So this is a piece of advice that really helped me, which an educational psychologist had given me, and I'll share it with you. So she said that please, train your daughters to get a very very good degree. Train as it inspire them to study hard at this age. See, this is something that another devotee friend shared with me, and I really liked it. She said that if in at the time for studying, if children are not studying, then what will they do? They will get distracted and do other things, spend more time maybe on social media or watching TV, even if they are devotee children. When they are teenagers, everyone does this. Everyone does this. There might be a few exceptions, but generally everybody would be. So it is better that that is their dharma at the time to study. So let them study well. And why study well? Let them understand that in life there might be emergencies, or I myself might regret later on not studying. If I am not a devotee, I mean, if I'm born in a devotee family, but I'm not very serious about Krishna consciousness, right? So I'll while away my time, and then I'll not be able to get neither a career nor I have become fixed in Krishna consciousness. So I will regret it. If I'm a devotee who is firmly fixed in Krishna consciousness, and then I neglect my career thinking that I will do devotional service, but later on I regret in my life that oh I should have done something at that time. No, why wasn't I guided properly? then they may blame. They may blame their parents. They may blame devotees that because of devotees, I did not complete my career. I did not finish my course. So first of all, whatever decision the person takes, the child takes, it should be their own choice. But they should have the right guidance. It's not parents who decide for them. It's not devotees who decide for them. It should be by their own choice. And they should be clearly told that these are the advantages and disadvantages of the choices that you are making. It should be a fully informed choice. So even if tomorrow they feel that they want to take up a career, they are not going to be blaming anybody. At that time, I did not take up, like for me, I was doing a chartered accountancy when I became a devotee. And for some reason at that time, I felt that career was not suited for me because I had a problem with certain ethics. And I left it and I wanted to do some service in a temple. And some years ago, I took up psychology because I felt that's something that it really is something very dear to my heart. And anyway, I was doing counseling. I thought I might as well add this. And I sort of, I studied and I went ahead in that. But I did not blame anybody for my not doing CA at that time. It was my choice. And I have no regrets because that was the beginning of my, I was young and I came to Krishna consciousness at the age of 20. So I had like, very less time to prepare for my Krishna consciousness before even getting married. So the foundation that I got at that time really helped me in my spiritual life. So I have absolutely no regrets. So whatever decision we are taking this way or that way, we should be clear in our mind and we should not have any regrets. We should not blame anyone later on. Maybe if someone would have told me I would have done it now, just see I am not able to do it. It should not be that. So therefore, parents, please encourage your children to study, to get a good degree. Whether they will become a professional or a homemaker will be decided when they are getting married. Or if they feel very strongly that they want to be professionals. Maybe they can contribute in that way. We need good professionals too, who are honest, who have integrity, and in different areas of life. If we have devotee doctors, they'll help us. But would you like to go to a devotee doctor who's not well qualified, who hasn't studied well? Would you risk your life by going to a devotee doctor who has been chanting 64, 100 rounds every day, but not attending classes? You would offer dandavat to the devotee, but you wouldn't get treatment done from him, right? Whatever your children are doing, let them do it fully, wholeheartedly. So that whichever profession they get into, they will bring glory to Krishna and Vaishnavism by the way they pursue and they do their duty in that career. Like Bhakti Vinod Thakur, because he was so good at his job. He was a Vaishnava, but he was so excellent at his job. Of course, he was empowered because he was a very, very extraordinary personality. But because he was so good at his thing, the British actually, they really valued his words. So maybe your children will become something like that. So let them learn, let them be equipped with all the skills. Supposing your daughter gets married, supposing she decides to become a homemaker and she has children, okay? And then at some stage in her life, because of some financial instability, nowadays jobs are unstable, especially in certain sectors like IT and where any moment the person is given a pink slip. Then supposing the need for her to work comes up, then she should have such a strong degree. This is what my that the senior psychologist who advised me. She said, "मजबूत degree होनी चाहिए, मजबूत strong degree, so that even if they have to enter the field after many years, this that degree still has value, and they can still get a job based on that degree. They should have all the skills that are required, and if necessary, they make use of it. So definitely we teach them devotional practices. We start from a young age. We teach them devotional practice. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna did not give Arjuna advice that now you should just chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Arjuna was saying, I will go to the Himalayas. But Krishna told him, no, do your dharma, fight. So if they are students, let them do the dharma, let them study nicely, let them be well qualified. And if it makes you happier, let me tell you one thing. Based on their qualification, they will get a husband also of a similar qualification. Right? So if your daughter is not qualified, maybe somebody who is very qualified may not want to get married. They will not be intellectually on the same level. Also, if people are from the same profession, it helps because they understand each other. If a doctor is married to a doctor, then he understands that there are going to be emergencies, there are going to be problems. Even she understands, even if she may not be practicing or practicing whatever, but she will understand what he is going through. There will be more consideration for each other. So, either way, please let in today's age and time with so many problems, let them be qualified. But also, they have simultaneously in our earlier question we have discussed, we had no sort of they have inbuilt within them that understanding that being a mother is very important. So maybe I would like to take a break from my profession. Or if I have a husband who is willing to cooperate with me so that I can do my profession and take care of my child, then I do that. But if my husband has a very demanding job wherein if both of us are working, the child would get neglected, then I maybe I step back and I take a break for some time and I fully focus because for a child, for raising a child, the first 5 years and then the first 8 years, first 1.5 year, most important, up to 5 years, very, very important, up to 8 years, very important. Those first 8 years of a child's life, if we have given them full attention, full care, love, values, maximum values and qualities can be imparted at that stage. Starting from pregnancy, starting from the time the child is in the womb. So, not wanting to miss out that stage and taking a break may be a wise decision, but this is very subjective. We don't impose it on anybody, sometimes due to financial consideration, or sometimes just due to a passion of wanting to work. People might want to work. If they can manage their lives, spirituality, taking physical care of themselves and their children, and managing their job and their house. So some people can. They are so empowered that they are able to do all the things very nicely. If they can, then good. So that's a decision that they will take at that time in their life. Now let them study, let them grow.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. I think this surely has clarified so many uh, unclear concepts, and that's really very enlightening. I mean, it showed a real guiding light and guiding principles as to how we should go about thinking about the career and the future of our children. Thank you very much, Mataji. So,
Thank you.
so before we